Welcome to the Lumen Kitchen. Today we're going to be making this delicious stir-fry tofu with broccoli, and it's going to be amazing. I'm here today in the Lumen Kitchen, and my name is Kyla. I head the PR here at Lumen. This is Ulrike. She's our customer success nutritionist. For people who don't know who we are Lumen. And we, with this device, are able to measure your metabolism. We can tell if you're burning fats or carbs in real time through the breath. And basically, we'll give you recommendations for the entire day to fuel your workouts or just an ordinary day at the office, so it's as personalized as possible. We are live today here as well with Lottie. We will get to her in a second. She's an Adidas nutritionist coach. I'll just put you in the frame there with us for a second so you can say hi, Lottie.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Lottie.
Hi, so good to be here.
Nice of you to join us. Thank you. So if you haven't taken your pre-meal breath, please do that right now because we're going to, at the end of this 45 minutes, we're going to be hopefully eating a delicious meal. Yes. So here, I'll just here's your phone, Ulrike, so that you can take your pre-meal breath. And I'm just going to pull up what that screen looks like in terms of how that looks like on an app. In just a moment. So Ulrike, if you just want to start, that would be great. If you want to start your,
I'm just
Lottie, if you want to start taking your pre-meal breath, that would be great. And
okay.
We're holding our breath in between the inhale and the exhale to get the perfect mix of O2 and CO2 so that's as accurate as possible. And in just a second, it's going to give us a number from 1 to 5. 1 being fat burn, 5 being carb burn, and this way for the day. We've got a second breath going now, so we're doing that between 1 to 2 breaths. And this actually used to be a 45-minute process in the lab, just so, and only available to, athletes or anyone who's willing to pay a fortune to get this done. So now it's pretty much in less than a minute in the comfort of your home. So what'd you get, Lottie? What'd you get? You got a 1. That's awesome. Ooh. So
I got a 1 because I just finished a workout, and I didn't eat yet, so I need to eat.
Right. So basically, you've depleted all your carb stores, and you're ready to go. You can actually, eat a bit more carbs today in this meal. This is actually a low-carb meal. If you want to add an additional carb, you also have the option of adding brown rice as a slow absorbent healthy carb. What were your results?
I got a level 4 actually. So for me, it's now a good time to eat a low carb meal, just what we are preparing. So because I'm already full with carbs still from previous meal. Now is a good time for me to eat a low carb meal, focusing more on the non-starchy vegetables.
Great. So Lottie, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? And we need to get started on the peanut sauce, is that right?
Yes. So thank you guys so much for having me. I've been using the Lumen for the past 2 weeks, and it really aligns with my philosophy of nutrition because I believe everyone is different and everyone needs something else. There's no one size fits all diet. So the more we could learn about ourselves and learn about how we could eat based on what our body needs is exactly what I try to do every single day. So any advice I could get from the Lumen, I always try to take. And I really wanted to create this recipe and allow it to be versatile in the sense of if you need more carbs, you could add it. If you want to stay away from carbs, you don't have to. I work with athletes every day. I work with athletes on the highest level trying to compete in the Olympics, and I work with everyday athletes. So I try to make healthy eating approachable and accessible. That's the most important thing. I don't want it to be this high ranking thing that you don't feel like you could do. And that's really how I look at all my recipes. And this recipe is one of them. I love stir fries because it's so easy to make. It's a quick dinner, and then it makes for a great lunch the next day. So when I tested this recipe, I had lunch for a week, and I was so excited because every day it just tasted better. And I love when you don't have to cook. It feels like someone cooks for you. So I'm really excited to be here and be making the full recipe with you guys.
Yes, we're just as excited. That's super interesting. Yeah, so just depending on where you are, that's the great part of Lumen is that you can really eat according to, you know, what your carb stores are for the day. Most of the time we tend to eat enough carbs, right? Most of the time we're overeating on the carbs. So
yeah, definitely, especially in our Western world, the Western diet is heavily full of carbs, so it's definitely good to watch out your carb intake.
great.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna get started on the peanut sauce.
Yeah.
So should I just whisk them together? Okay, so far we have the soy sauce, the rice vinegar, the sesame oil, and the sriracha. So I'm gonna help you out here.
Exactly.
Yeah, so when you are making the sauce, I really wanted to keep it low sugar, no sugar. So even things like peanut butter always has added sugar. So when you're buying peanut butter, just make sure you're looking at the ingredients. It's just an easy way to avoid excess sugar, especially in your everyday meals. I always say with sugar, you want it to be purposeful. So whether you're on a bike ride or a run, use that sugar to help you fuel you and try to avoid it in other places. So it's super simple. The sauce, you're going to do a half a cup of peanut butter, and I'm going to do it with you guys. And you could use any nut butter you want. You could use cashew butter. You could even use tahini if you want to make it nut-free. I bet that would be really good. You could do cashew butter, almond butter, but we are using peanut butter because I just feel like peanut butter makes everything taste better.
Yes, definitely. And as you said, it's that organic, sugar-free stuff. None of that skippy tons of sugar. We don't like that. We like the organic stuff. So otherwise, it's defeating the purpose of being low carb and sugar free for today.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think more than anything, it's just about being mindful about the ingredients you're using, because some of the times it just sneaks up on you. Even like with almond milk and other processed foods, you just want to get used to reading what's in the package.
Definitely. Okay, I think we're wrapping up. So what's the consistency that the sauce needs to be, Lottie?
So it should be a little bit liquidy, but not too much. It should be on the thicker side. If you want it a little thinner, you could always add more liquid, whether that's water, more rice vinegar. I like to cook more intuitively. So if you feel like you need to add more, I'm using like a little chopper, so it kind of combines it really well. If you have a nut butter that is there, they come in all different consistencies. So if you have a nut butter that's a bit thicker, you might need to whisk it longer or add more liquid.
Okay, so I've kind of got like this consistency. I don't know if you can see it.
So I would add a bit of hot water to that.
Okay.
And I'm going to use this little device. Guys, this is one of my favorite kitchen tools. It is non-electric, and you just do this. I'm going to like watch everything spill as I do it, but you basically just do this, and it mixes it together for you.
Oh, wow.
And my mom turns me on to this, and it's perfect. I use it to also chop vegetables really small.
Ah. Very interesting. I love those little kitchen gadgets. They're so handy.
Yeah, they're great. In New York City, I don't have that much space, so I'm very particular with the extra kitchen gadgets I do have. The ones I have, I really use and I really like. Okay, my sauce is done. Is your sauce looking better?
Yes, I've got like this creamier consistency. Thank you for the tip.
Great.
And I feel like Smells peanut buttery, but soy saucy. Love this combination. Okay, next, what do we do next?
Okay, so you guys should have your tofu already prepared. And the reason I do the tofu prepared beforehand is because you don't want it to get kind of mashed into the rest of the dish. You want it to have a nice texture. So now that that's prepared, you're going to take a medium-sized to large saucepan. I'm using something like this. And you're going to start to heat it up and start to saute your vegetables.
Right.
Okay.
And if you guys are using a non-stick pan, you always want to make sure that you get the pan hot before you add the oil. So I always like to warm up the pan a little bit before I add the oil.
Yeah.
And
what vegetable are we doing first?
what vegetable are you doing first? We are going to saute the onion, garlic, and ginger, and that's going to give the dish a lot of its flavor and vibrancy and all that good stuff. So you should have your 2 cloves of garlic, some fresh ginger chopped up, and some onion.
Okay. Garlic, ginger, onion. Here we
Uh-oh. Okay, I think I'm still in the show. Looks like a bit of technical difficulty. We will just wait for everyone to come back. And we will saute the onion. Let's see. Okay. While you guys are still with me, we are sauteing the onion, garlic, and ginger. And that is really like a good flavor profile for the dish. And I always like to start it with those really fragrant vegetables. And I always keep those on hand. They don't go bad quickly, so it's easy to have them stocked in your fridge and pantry. So you're just going to saute that. And I'm using avocado oil to saute because avocado oil has a really high heat point. So it's a good oil to use when you're sauteing or cooking versus using olive oil. So you're just going to saute that until the onions and garlic are pretty much caramelized, and that will take a few minutes. And then we have our other vegetables already cut and prepared. So the great thing about stir fries is you could use any type of vegetable you want, whatever you have. I wanted to use some cabbage and broccoli in this dish. So I have that already cut up, and it's about 1 to 2 cups of cabbage and 1 to 2 cups of broccoli. Let's see where everyone else is. Oh, the chopper. The chopper I got on Amazon. I need to find out. The name is ZYLIZZ. It is so good. You could also chop like carrots, onions. So this is so handy. So yeah, I am actually not making the dish with tofu today. I'm going to try it with eggs. So I have my eggs here. You guys are back.
Yeah.
Yes, we had a, yes, we're back. We had a minor power outage on that side, but we're just fine, up and running. So we're just getting the onions and what the
The
ginger.
onions, ginger, and garlic we have in there right now. Just gonna fry it, start frying it.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys what mine looks like. It's on the browner side. But yeah, that only needs a few minutes, and then all your other vegetables should be prepared on the side.
Yeah, those veggies we have. Okay, so the onions are starting to be translucent. So what should we put in the mixture next?
So I would add the cabbage and broccoli next, and then you're just gonna saute that for another like 5 to 6 minutes.
Okay, cool. And how am I chopping the broccoli? Is that just like keeping?
So you want to cut off the bottom part, and you just want the florets. So it's gonna look like this.
All right, we're keeping the florets. Is that what you said, Lottie? The florets?
The florets, yes. You can save. I like to save the stem if I want to compost, or if I want to make a veggie stock of some sort. It's always good to have like vegetable scraps.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have the florets. Fine, I'll say florets, Lottie, but I heard you say earlier tahini, but here we say trina with a ch. You gotta say it with some soul, Lottie. The ch.
I also say it like that, but yeah, my family says it like that. They make fun of the way that I say it now, but that's how we say it in America, tahini. If they went and asked for tahina or something, they would laugh at me. But yeah, I appreciate it. You guys probably have really good tahini by you. We should have tried. We'll try that next time.
We do. In fact, at Lumen, we have tahini competitions. I'm not saying it that way, Lottie. We have tahini competitions. One's the best, and it's actually there's a lot of great stuff in tahini.
Yeah, it's full of calcium, for instance, because of all the sesame seeds in there. So it's actually for people that don't eat any dairy products. Tahini is a good source of calcium, actually. All right, Lottie, do you think I can add the broccoli already?
Yeah.
Yes, you could add the broccoli. I'm gonna add the broccoli and cabbage now as well.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So I'm cutting about half a cabbage head. I think we're good. Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Lottie, are you ready for some questions from our community?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. I love questions.
Great. While the cabbage does its thing. So for the vegans and the vegetarians out there, how should they get their protein?
Yeah, there are so many ways that you could get protein as a plant-based athlete, plant-based person. Legumes have plenty of protein. So legumes are beans. We're making a vegan dish here that has tofu. If you're vegetarian, fish is also a great option if you're someone who eats fish, eggs. You'll be surprised how much protein you could find in certain vegetables even. So there's plenty of options. You just need to be a little bit more diligent about meal planning and figuring out your meals so that you do get enough protein and your plate looks balanced.
Okay. There's tons of options there. Actually, there's a very, very big vegan community here in Tel Aviv. So there's a lot of really good vegan restaurants here. Okay.
Yeah, I've been plant-based for 10 years now, and I feel really like that's personally what works for me. So there are definitely options. And yeah, there's so many restaurants also in New York. I have to come to Tel Aviv and try some of the plant-based restaurants.
You definitely do. Definitely. You can do mutual food tours. You ready for your second question?
Yeah.
All right. I'm a runner. Are you a runner?
I do run occasionally. I used to run much more, but I still run.
How do you get your protein after, what can I eat afterwards to refuel?
Yes, that's a great question. I think the number one question I get working with athletes is, what do I eat after a run? And using the Lumen to figure out what you could eat is a great way to figure out if you need more carbs or less carbs. But generally, you want to look to replace lost glycogen stores. So look for complex carbohydrates, which could be found in fruits, whole grains, whole wheat bread, and then you want to get in protein. So you have a 30 to 40-minute window to get that in. So I would definitely recommend to prioritize it, make a plan, and have those options available. So personally, something that I would eat is like avocado toast with an egg. I would do a smoothie, a protein smoothie, because I'm getting fruits and vegetables and I'm getting protein from the protein powder. So just make sure that you're looking for those two things after a workout.
Yeah, prep work is definitely important, because or else you're just getting home and you're just opening the fridge and grab the first thing.
Definitely.
And nutrition in general is always good, generally, if you know what you're eating, to like fight those impulses.
Yeah, and I find most people are not hungry after they run, so it could be difficult to figure out what you want to eat, or you're really hungry, but if you don't eat within those 30 to 40 minutes, you're going to feel it on later in the day and you're going to be snacking and may have a headache and may not feel good. So the window to eat after a run is going to help you in the long run as well.
And if you so happen to be running and have a Lumen, you can test the impact of your run 45 minutes afterwards to see how it impacted your metabolism and maybe get a one like Lottie did. So we definitely recommend seeing how your workout impacted you. Next question. Is it possible to get enough protein as a vegan or vegetarian for performance? So we're focusing on performance.
Yeah, I would definitely say the best thing to do is to be in tune with your body and see how you're feeling after you're eating this way. And it's important to implement certain types of things into your diet slowly so you could figure out if it's making you feel better or worse. And you just want to look for foods that are I am a big fan of plant-based eating. Your food, your plate should look mostly plant-based. And if you are eating meat, it should be sprinkled into your plate and diet. So I've always believed that way, and that's how I've seen a lot of success with athletes is a more plant-based diet versus not. But it definitely is, you could get enough protein being a plant-based athlete, and we see it time and again, and I think it's just a matter of preference and what works for you.
Definitely. There's definitely many benefits, and it's becoming more and more popular to be plant-based. Okay. Lottie, I know how much you like shakes, so this one is especially for you. Workout shakes. I always make comments that Americans love shakes because you're on the go and you want to get your shake. So yeah, so what do you recommend for a pre and post workout shake?
Yes, shakes are a great way to get in food when you don't feel like eating. And I think a lot of runners could relate. After you do a super hard run, last thing you want to do is like cook something or eat something. And it's just like a good way to get in fuel. So we love our shakes here. I love my shakes. I keep a freezer full of ingredients that will always allow me to make it. And that's super important because you just want convenience after a run. So I break it down into a few different categories. So you want to make sure you're getting some type of vegetables. So either spinach, even frozen cauliflower, zucchini. Then you're looking to have some fruit. So bananas, berries, any type of fruit. And then liquid base. So either almond milk, nut milk, coconut water. And then protein. I personally use a plant-based protein. And then you want to make sure you're getting in some type of fat in there as well. So whether it's a nut butter, or tahini you could use, or you could use whatever you like. So a personal favorite of mine is like a coffee shake where I put in a banana, spinach, nut milk, almond butter, and then I throw in a few coffee beans and it tastes really good.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Sounds delicious.
Should we become shake people?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we're done with the broccoli. and the ginger and garlic. And at this point, we have the cabbage in there too, or we're gonna start putting that in.
It's already
Yeah,
done.
cabbage.
All the vegetables are already done. What's the next step, Lottie?
Next step is how do the vegetables look? Are they like tender? Do they feel like they're cooked enough?
Yeah, they look tasty.
Yes, I feel like the florets are ready, Miss Lottie.
Okay, so now you could add in your sauce and mix it all together, and then we'll add in the tofu and mix it again.
Okay, sounds good. So sauce. Okay, here we go. And in the meantime, community, this is your time to, while we wrap things up and put that lovely thick sauce. Feel free to comment. You can ask questions to Lottie, to Enrique, like everything about Lumen nutrition or nutrition in general. Please feel free. I'm just gonna check out, what comments are up. I've got quite a few already, so I'm just gonna take a sneak peek into what our comments are. So let's see over here. Oh, that's looking wonderful. All right, so we've got our first one from Kim. Kim, how are you doing? Will adding beans increase the carb? So first of all, what is beans? Is beans a carb? Will increasing it, what will that do? Okay.
So yeah, beans are considered to be a legume, and they are mainly a source of protein and carbohydrates. However, beans are very rich, or legumes in general are a source of slow absorption carbs. They don't affect our blood glucose levels so immediately. And actually for vegans and vegetarians, beans or legumes in general are a great source of protein. So if you would add to this dish a few beans, it would increase the protein as well as the carbohydrate content of the meal.
Okay, next question. Ben, hi Ben. Why do I get a high? Okay, so this is more of a lumen question. So luminers, listen up. Why do I get a high lumen level after a low carb meal?
Great question. Great question. That may indeed sometimes happen. Because what we have here, like if you have a low carb meal, you will mainly have fats and protein in it. And if you eat a meal that's high in protein, some of the protein that you eat can actually turn into carbohydrates. This is a physiological process that is called gluconeogenesis. Half of the protein can turn into carbs and then can actually trigger higher lumen levels in your post-meal breakfast. Even if the meal itself is rather low in carbohydrates.
Okay, next question. Oh, we have so many.
Yeah. Great, we love our community asks questions here. What's next? Lottie, is it already time to add the tofu in here?
Yeah, you could add the tofu in and mix it again. Just be careful. The reason we fry it beforehand is so that it doesn't, it keeps its texture. So when you're mixing it, just be gentle in mixing everything together.
Sounds good. I'm going to add the tofu right now. Turn the temperature a bit down, I guess.
Yes, you could lower the temperature and it's pretty much almost done.
Yay. Smells wonderful. Okay. Next question from Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Thank you so much for joining us. How do I maintain fat burn? Or how do I maintain a low lumen level and finding it difficult?
Great question. So, low lumen levels. First of all, the question: when do you even want to receive low lumen levels? So, like a great sign of overall metabolic flexibility that your body is able to adjust to the available fuel source is a low lumen level in the morning, actually. So the morning time is the time when you want to receive a low lumen level. After you've eaten something that has carbohydrates, on the other hand, you actually want to receive a higher lumen level. So how to get to this low lumen level in the morning? There are like a few strategies to focus on. One great strategy is, of course, physical activity. Working out, it will deplete any carbohydrate stores. Another strategy that we focus on in Lumen, besides exercising, is, of course, like managing your macronutrient intake and focusing on a low carbohydrate intake when that is required. And another strategy that helps to reach those low lumen levels in the morning are actually is like performing intermittent fasting or some sort of intermittent fasting. So just shifting even your last meal in the day to a little bit earlier time will often help to get to those low lumen levels in the mornings. But this is like something highly individual, and I recommend to play around with your lumen a little bit and see what is really the suitable time frame for you to get to this low lumen level in the morning.
Great. I hope we answered your question, Daniel. It's a process. It's kind of like learning what your body responds to in terms of the workout, in terms of the food. So that's why we always just recommend taking a variety of breaths, whether that's before your meals, before workouts, after workouts, just to really understand what works for you, because everybody's different and what works for them is different. Okay, next question from Donna. Okay, let's check this one out. What do I need to do to lose weight?
Ooh,
this is a hot topic. Of course, we focus on metabolic health, and that's kind of like the pillar. Mm-hmm. Am I saying it right? For everything, whether that's weight loss and maintenance, sleep.
Yeah, definitely. So let's say weight loss with Lumen, as Kyla already said. Our core concept with Lumen is based on metabolic flexibility, which basically means how well is your body able to adapt to the fuel source that is available. So if you've eaten carbohydrates, your body can actually utilize carbohydrates. And when you haven't eaten any carbs for a while, or you haven't eaten anything for a while, you can actually shift back into a state of fat burn quite easily. So a flexible metabolism is something that is definitely very beneficial in the process of losing weight. And then with Lumen, if you have your Lumen, you can actually adjust your recommendations towards weight loss. So if you have your Lumen and your nutrition recommendations will actually be adjusted so that you get a healthy caloric recommendation that will help you to lose weight in a way that is sustainable and healthy. So yeah, with Lumen, you would just need to follow the recommendations and be guided by the recommendations provided. Yeah, do we have any other questions? Lottie, maybe you want to add something to that? That was maybe more a little from the Lumen perspective.
Yeah, could you guys hear me? Yeah, right?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. I was going to say a tip that I have for getting your lumen score lower in the morning, and this is something I try to do in general because it just makes me feel better when I wake up, is just to make sure that I'm giving myself time to digest before I go to sleep. So not eating too late at night. And that has been really helpful in like just helping me digest better and get a lower score in the morning. And I totally agree with you when it comes to losing weight and just being able to use the Lumen to kind of understand your body a bit more and figure out when you do need those carbs and when you don't need those carbs. And it's really easy nowadays to figure out low carb options because they have stuff like cauliflower rice and cauliflower pizza and cauliflower everything. But there are so many options, so you don't feel like you need to feel deprived of carbs when you're not having it. But it's important to eat carbs when you do, in fact, need it. So that's why I've really been liking using it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Lumen can help you with, to find out the most suitable carbohydrate intake for you, what works for you. And that is really very individual for everyone. Okay, Lottie, I'm almost finished here, I think. I think there was something with peanuts also. I'm supposed to add something now to garnish it, right?
Yeah, I'm all about the garnish and all about the dish looking good. So I always have my little fixings on top. If you have scallions, you could add scallions on top. So I have some scallions that I chopped up, so I'm going to throw those on top. I actually made the dish with eggs instead of tofu. So happy to report it turned out well, and it's kind of like this breakfast scramble, which looks really good. So I'm going to add some scallions into the dish. And when you are cooking, I always like to throw some of the ingredients used in the recipe on top. So since we use peanut butter, we are going to use some salted roasted peanuts for topping. You could chop them up or just throw them in whole.
Okay, so peanuts here prepared.
All right, so in the meantime, we have a question here from Luca about, if he's fasting from 7 to 9, from 7 to 9 the next day, is it better to have like a low carb dinner? So if you're fasting from 7 to 9, is it better to have a low carb dinner?
So again, this is quite something quite like individual, and I recommend to test it yourself. So to maybe have like one day a little bit higher carbohydrate meal and to fast for this time and see what's your lumen level the next day at 9 in the morning. If it's still a high level in the morning, let's say a 4 or a 5, then it's maybe better to focus more on a low carbohydrate meal in the evening before.
Okay, great. I hope we answered your question, Luca. But generally, like carbs, as a general rule, better to have it like.
Generally speaking, it's we recommend to have it more in the first half of the day, because usually people will be able to utilize the carbs more during the day. And therefore, it will be easier for most people to get to those low lumen levels in the morning when they have their carbs more in the first half of the day.
All right, last question as we wrap things up. And Lottie, are you doing okay?
I'm doing well, yeah. Very interesting also to hear your guys' perspective on how to use the lumen and lose weight at the same time.
Yes. I can say that I've been, over a period of just 3 months, I lost 6 kilos.
Wow, impressive, Carla.
So I'm very happy, and I just made these small adjustments like fasting, moving a bit more, just these adjustments.
Yeah. So I can really emphasize on that also. Sometimes it's, or most of the time actually, when people want to lose weight or achieve a better health, it's not, they don't need to change so many things. If they just change a few things already, when they do it consistently, this will already have most of the time a very great impact.
Yeah,
okay.
People always try to take off too much at once. I always see that January 1st, everyone's kind of revamping their whole diet really quickly. So I love that tip.
Okay, last question from Ryan. Let's see. Oh, that's just great. I've had a few comments pop up since Ryan. Do I always need to be at a lumen level 1?
Yeah, also a good question. We get that quite a lot. as I already pointed out a little bit before, at Lumen we are focusing on this metabolic flexibility. So that actually means if you eat carbohydrate, if you just had a carbohydrate-rich meal, let's say you ate pasta with tomato sauce, something like that. In this case, you actually want to reach a high lumen level because that would indicate your metabolism is flexible, your metabolism is able to utilize those carbohydrates that you just consumed. And this is definitely a good time to receive a high lumen level. On the other hand, when you already had a break from eating for quite a few hours, then if you're already metabolically flexible, your body should be able to revert back to low lumen levels. And this is the same in the morning time when we didn't eat carbohydrate for quite a long time, or we just didn't eat any food for a while. Our body shifts into a state of fat burn in the morning, ideally, and we reach those low lumen levels in the morning. So it's really a matter of perspective. What is the context of the measurement? Whether I want to receive a high or a low lumen level. Yeah.
So, okay, I'm also just while taking my little post.
Kyla's taking her post meal measurement. So she's blowing into the device right now. Now she needs to hold her breath for 10 seconds actually. And then she needs to exhale again. She needs to maintain the exhalation at this specific pace. And then the lumen will actually tell her what she is burning right now for fuel. Kyla, what's your level?
So as you can see, I have a level 5. So I definitely have enough, let's say, carbs storage for the day. So, and I started also my day at a level 4, mostly because I did not sleep that well.
Yeah.
Sleep impacts your metabolism by 50%. Is that right?
Yeah, it definitely has a big impact on our metabolic fuel usage and can lead to those higher lumen levels, even if we haven't eaten so many carbohydrates for the day.
And actually, if after you eat, it's not a bad thing to be at a higher level.
Exactly.
It just shows you that your metabolism is working.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. That's completely right. That's one aspect of being metabolically flexible. You want to use those carbohydrates when you ate them. And as I explained also before, even if your meal wasn't so high in carbohydrates and it was rather high in fat and protein, you can still get higher lumen levels because some of the protein we eat can be used as a source of energy and turn into carbohydrates actually. So don't worry if your lumen level is a little bit higher after you've eaten something. Most of the time, that's actually what you want.
Perfect. Okay. Lottie, are you ready? I think we're ready on our end.
Yes.
All of the peanut buttery, tofu-y combination is perfect. It's looking delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my dish is also ready. It looks really good. I always like to experiment something different every time I make a recipe. So I tried it with eggs and it turned out great. So ready to serve it up.
Great. So let's just grab a couple plates from our gorgeous Lumen Kitchen.
Should we have it in some bowls here?
Yes. Lottie, we're going to eat what we made. I don't know about you. I'm a little hungry.
Yeah.
Yes, this is my post-workout meal, so I'm very excited about this.
Yes.
This is for you.
Thank you so much. And if you're just tuning in and you're a Lumener, be sure, again, pre-meal breath, to check the impact of this meal on your body, on your metabolism. And we need to wait after the meal at least 30 minutes, right?
Even a little bit more, because it takes our body some time to digest the food and metabolize it and actually to have a change in the lumen levels. So we recommend to wait at least an hour after you have finished your meal before you take your post meal measurement.
Perfect. Lottie, we're just going to grab a bite with you. Thank you so much for guiding us through this lovely meal.
Yeah, of course.
It's good. It has this light, this nice consistency to it. And the broccoli is nice and soft. The florets are nice and soft. I'm just going to keep mentioning the florets, Lottie.
Learn something new, florets.
Learn something new. It's delicious.
The tofu
Yeah.
and the broccoli go very nicely together.
Yeah, I love this dish, and you could put it over brown rice, cauliflower rice. You could eat it the way it is. Serves a lot of purposes.
Very nice.
And if you'd like to, if you've got some extra carbs for the day, carb servings for the day, brown rice is an excellent addition. If you're an overachiever and you scored a 1 today like Lottie did, and you fast with run, Lottie?
I had a date and peanut butter before my run, but I did not listen. I did not listen to my recommendation. I didn't eat right after, and that's probably why it's low, because I was getting ready to cook. But now I will replenish, and yeah, I'll add brown rice to it as well.
Great.
Perfect. So that wraps everything up. We've got this delicious food. Again, Lottie, thank you so much for joining us and for showing us how to make this delicious food. And thank you, Luminers and guests who are just meeting us the first time for attending this lovely cooking class here in the Lumen Kitchen. And tune in, because we're always doing these lovely live style webinars, and we'll be having one coming up pretty soon. So thank you so much again, and everybody have a wonderful day. And that's that. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Lottie.
Bye, Lottie.